By the way, what or who is AIM? AIM, aim high, work hard, aiming, farm while aiming, aim at something. My name is Antonio Innocent Mdongi, and this is my story. I was born and brought up in a farm in Kitale, and my parents were very good farmers. My mom still is a very good farmer, but now maize and dairy. So in my entire family, I was the only one who was so passionate about farming. I remember when I was in high school at Friends School Kamusinga, and having finished my Form 4 grade, I scored very well, and guys were like, we're going to campus. I remember we went to Kakamega to revise our courses during those days. So you could go to Kakamega, the provincial headquarters, you revise the courses, then you choose a course that you want to do. So we went there and with my friends, like Robert Simiu, Thomas Kikechi, and all those guys. Guys were like, when you go to campus, we have to do engineering, we have to do medicine, we have to do pharmacy. And my dad was at home like, go and choose a good course and do something like clinical medicine or pharmacy and all that. Then I get into a matatu, I'm going to Kakamega. I was like, me, I want to do something, anything agriculture and anything business, I will do that. At that time, I'd already learned how to plow using a tractor. I'd already learned how to sow maize. And I was not so good at chicken farming, but my mom was a talented chicken farmer. So I go to Kakamega. We choose courses. I choose first choice, agriculture, general agriculture. Second choice, agribusiness. Agribusiness economics and enterprise development. Third choice, second choice, agribusiness economics and food industrial management. Then third choice, agribusiness management and enterprise development. We get admitted to campus, fast forward, JQuat. I'm in my first year, second year. Third year, we start then getting the topics for research. Then I'm like, I love this poultry thing. I start doing my research on how poultry is impacting on the livelihoods of urban dwellers in Nairobi. Then I really developed the passion of poultry. Then I was so ambitious, not knowing even what I'm doing. I go online and register my first business, or at that time we used to call it a company, but now it was a business, going by the name West Cargo Agribusiness. It was basically a consultancy enterprise. So I was giving digital consultation. That's why I met my first friend called Andrew Gachuba. He's now in the UK. And I salute you, Andrew Gachuba. So Gachuba tells me, Antonio, I have a friend of mine in Somalia, Mogadishu, called Abdi. I want you to go and set up a farm for him, somewhere called Shavela Hose or Sinkader. In Mogadishu, between Mogadishu and Afgoe, Somalia. I'm like, I'll go. I'm so eager. I call my mom at home and tell Mom, I've gotten a job, so I have to go and I have to go and do this job. My mom asks me, where? I said, I'm going to go to Somalia. My mom is like, no, you cannot go to Mogadishu. You'll die, because you know what's happening in Mogadishu. Man, I go back home. I was in college that time. I go back to the hostel. I'm like, I'm schooling to get a job. And a job has come before I finish my schooling. No, I have to pursue this thing. So I'm like, I think, that thing didn't click in my mind, like the terrorism and all that in Mogadishu. I'm like, I have to go for this job. It's my first time to board a plane, first time to get employed, get a salary, and that college life. I'm like, I have to go. I stayed for 2 days. I've already discussed and negotiated the deal with my friend. He's like, you go get your passport, I'll finance that, you go for the job. Then I called my mom again. Anyway, God forbid, I'm sorry, I lied to my mom, but anyway. I called my mom and said, Mom, my employer has offered to give me another job, but now in Ethiopia. I'm not going to Somalia again, I'll go to Ethiopia. He's like, okay, Mom is like, okay, fine. It seems your employer really depended on you. I said, yes, I'm very good at what I'm doing, and mom, you know it. So my mom says, okay, fine, I wish you all the best. You pursue your dreams. So my mom knows I'm going to Ethiopia. Hey, God forbid. I'm in college, 4th year. We are like in the final semester. I have to be doing my final cuts and sitting for the final exams. But here I am. We opened the school to start our semester, and that's the same day I'm boarding a plane to Mogadishu. I remember I'm at JK, I called my mom and say, Mom, the plane is taking off. We'll be in Addis Ababa in a few minutes. Yet, in reality, the plane is taking off. I'll be in Mogadishu in a few minutes. Touchdown, Mogadishu. Man. Mogadishu. Have you ever watched the movie called Black Hawk Down? I was like seeing it like real time. We touched down in Mogadishu. I'm picked by the sister to my boss at the airport. We go to where I'm supposed to stay. We rest. The following morning, they were speaking a little bit of Swahili because they had been at Mombasa before. So then the following day we go to the farm. Oh my goodness. We build the farm and everybody's like, oh, this is a Kenyan, this is a Kenyan, this is a Kenyan. But it didn't dawn on me why these guys were asking if I was a Kenyan. We went there, we did the project. It was good, we did the hatchery. And I was like, now I have to go back to do my cuts and exams. I come back home. When I'm back home, then I get to now YouTube. Now I start reading much about Mogadishu because my client is expecting me to go back. Is when now I start getting the real picture of Mogadishu. Then I'm like, I went to this place, I set up incubators, I brought eggs from Nairobi, we hatched, there's a farm running, and this is exactly where I was. Anyway, I'm like, no, I've had an experience, so I can't go back there again. So then I set up my first farm after college. I set up my first farm in Kitengela, Nairobi. 2015, I graduate undergraduate. I'm promised a job because my chairman for the department had seen how much a go-getter AIM Agriculture is. So after I graduate, I'm promised a job and I'm supposed to work at EPZA in the business development division. I'm tasked with setting up an agribusiness project. The first project was production of hay, and the second project was production of passion fruit for export. And I was tasked by coming up with a poultry farming project for the Export Processing Zones Authority of Kenya staff. So I was like to train the staff, then come up with a welfare project of poultry where they could invest and then buy their clothes later. The person who, this country of mine it's all about who you know. So my godfather, or rather my godmother at that time, she's like, she was supposed to be the CEO. And unfortunately, she was not lucky when they had the interviews. So it happened that someone else was the CEO. So she resigned and left the company. And I was like, now desperate, because now who could then take me to the company? That's how I found myself in Kitengela. Man, I had already rented a space. I had my mattress on the floor. I used to stay there on the floor. And my small gas, 6 kilos gas. Life starts from somewhere. Life starts from somewhere. I used to eat one meal. So I'm like, now this person has left the job. I'm sleeping on the floor. I'm like going to EPZA the following day. I arrive at the company gate and they're like, where are you going? They already know. The person who's giving me the job left. So they asked me, where are you going? Who am I going to see? I'm going to see so-and-so. No, she's no longer working for this company, so you're not allowed in. That's when it dawns on me that things are not good. I go back to the room where I'd rented in Kitengela. I sleep down there praying to God, like, what can I do? Really, there is always a breakthrough. The third day, God answered my prayers. It was like, but, you know much about chicken? You can keep chicken. You can do chicken business. You can train people on how to keep chicken, you know. I wake up like so energized. I'm going to do chicken, but I got no single cent. I'd planted 2 acres of maize. That's why you see me so passionate about maize farming. I planted 2 acres of maize at home in Kitale. So I called my mom. The maize is not even ready. And asked, Mom, I think I want to start something. How can I get money? Can you sell for me that maize? Someone to pay you. When the maize is ready, this person can come and harvest. My mom calls my aunt. She was doing maize business at that time. Auntie Akinyi. So my aunt is like, okay, fine. I'll give my son something to start his business. Then just be patient when the maize is ready. Just harvest, dry it. Then we can do the math and you can give me mine. So I get the money. I buy an incubator. I rent an office. I have a desk and a table in my office, but I don't have a bed in my house. I got only 2 pans in my house. I got no 2 cups. I got only 1 cup, 1 spoon, 1 plate. That's life. So I'm like, I start now. That is where I developed my passion on poultry. That is where AIM Agriculture was born. I realized that there's a very big or huge gap in my country in the poultry sector. Like, farmers are so passionate on keeping poultry, but they really lack the information. So I was like training farmers, basics, what was taught in school. And they're like, what? So we've been doing this way, so it's supposed to be this way. I started training. I used to advertise, farmers would come, they do the training, they support me. That's how I started now growing. I moved to a better house, rented. In the course of that training, I had now bought my incubator. It was running, I was hatching my Kienyeji improved chicks. I think you've seen my first video on my YouTube channel where I started, like, with my Kienyeji improved birds. So lucky enough, one of my clients gets a green card and the whole family is supposed to go. So this is the person who used to sell for, she was my student at first, came as a trainee. She went into keeping birds. At that time the husband was working at Safaricom, and she was working at Safaricom and the husband was working somewhere at the airport. So now they had invested in keeping the Kienyeji improved birds. They're from Kalro in Kitengela. So then they get their green cards, they're supposed to fly out. But there's very people who sell me eggs to hatch. Then they're like, Antonio, look, we have won a green card. We're now leaving the country on this particular date. Can you get us somebody to buy these birds? I'm like, these birds, I buy the eggs, then I get someone to buy them. How can I do that? So I approached them after a while and like, I haven't really gotten someone, but why can't you sell me these birds, but I can pay in installments? She was so good, very good. Like, not good as such. These are just people who are just sent from heaven. Then they're like, okay, fine, pay us 50% and then you'll finish the payment as you do the business. The plot, somewhere Kitengela called Yukos, the plot where those birds I was keeping was theirs. So I rented from them. And they sold me the birds with the structure, the iron sheet zinc structure, you saw it. From that iron sheet structure, you can see this structure today here. From that iron sheet structure, you can see this house behind me here. From that iron sheet structure is where I got my master's degree. And my specialty in poultry nutrition came from. Wow, fast forward. Now on the farm, but rented space. So I moved the incubator to my bed sitter. So I'm sleeping here and my incubator is here because that's everything. People are going for Christmas. The town is deserted. I'm left behind alone because there's some eggs in the incubator. I hatch the chicks. Sometimes I lack a market to sell. My farm is full. Anyway. Along the line, about 2016-17, there I lose my dad, so I have to go back at home. You know, the poultry business and other businesses are businesses that they need you to be there practically. So I go back home in Kitale, stay there for some time, then the business dies. After laying my dad to rest, I come back to Nairobi. After a while, of course, about 6 months, 8 months, I got nowhere to start. My mom gives me some little money, some of the money that was contributed during the funeral, and tells me, my son, now I've stayed with you enough, I'll manage on my own. Now go and try to fend for yourself. I go to Nairobi, I lease some space again, start building my chicken house. The moment I get the roof, the money is finished. I've not paid my rent, I've not gotten birds, I've not bought birds. I sold the incubator when I was at home taking care of my dad and all that. God works in mysterious ways. That's the best thing I can say. So one day I'm going to Embu, so trying to hustle and build my farm. So I do some consultation a little bit in there, get something, put in my farm. So one day I was going to Embu to set up a project for my friend. He's called Njamura, Edwin Njamura. Wow, cheers to you. I go to Embu, then I come back. As I come back, I receive a strange phone call, +252, in town. Then I'm like, who's calling me? I receive, hello, how are you? I'm like, so-and-so, calling you from Somalia. Then I said, Somalia again? We've watched your story. I'd been featured in the newspaper Daily Nation quite a number of times while I was keeping the birds in Tingela and on TV. So we've read your story in the newspaper a year ago, and we've seen what you're doing. Can you come and work with us on partnership basis? Of course, that was the best opportunity I could have in life. So I forget about the challenges in Mogadishu, and I'm like, I've been there, I didn't die. So I'll go back there for a second chance. I go back to Mogadishu. This time round, for a big assignment. We go set up a farm in Mogadishu, somewhere called Gupta, near the Somali National Stadium. I was there for about 4 years, 5 years. I set up a farm. You've watched those videos on my YouTube channel. We start from 3,000 birds all the way to about 740,000 birds. I was formulating the feed. I was taking care of the brooding. I was basically the vet at the farm. I was doing like everything, a jack of all trades. And it is one of my most successful stories and ventures I've ever participated in. Somali Poultry, or Somali Fish Meat and Chicken Company. Wow. Cheers to my boss, Ahmed Guje, and cheers to my good supervisor who was working under me, Bashir Abdulatif. So during my time in Mogadishu, I saved for my masters. I save now to come back home and do something for myself. I come back home, pursue my masters. Actually, I started my masters when I was still in Mogadishu, so come back complete. Then now, funny enough, I didn't go directly into poultry farming. I go into maize farming again in Kitale. I really did it. I moved from 3 acres of maize all the way to about 70 acres of maize. Of course, today I'm doing about 102 acres of maize. I did maize, then from maize, I then now got my savings. Then I went now back into poultry. I rented lots of space. I rented a space back again in Nairobi. The problem I had, the biggest challenge I had was I was renting space, doing the project. Once it's very successful, then the landlord will kick me out of the project. And like, I got nowhere to take my birds, so I'd just sell them along the lines, throw away. Then the landlord will try maybe to do something else with the project or do his own project there. 2 or 3 occasions I had that challenge. And that's how I could do YouTubing, maize farming, put everything together until I bought the space I have here. Here is a hammer and here are nails. I am holding them myself. I build for people chicken houses, chicken farms. And today I'm building my own chicken farm on my own land, and I'm building my own home using my own hands. I'm moving away from the rented spaces, doing chicken farms on rented spaces, to doing chicken farm on my own space. Guys, the chicks have arrived. We are under pressure. The new batch. So quickly, this is my disinfectant. I have to make the foot bath ready. So guys, this is a disinfectant. Ah, nice. It's going to work for us well. Wow. So we're going to set the birds in, receive the birds, put them in, let them rest, give them water, the vitamins and everything. Good. Whew. Wow. Ah, I can hear they are crying. Huh? Ah, kuja. That's the beast. Guys, you can listen. Let me greet our pilots. Habari ya safari?
Poa.
Umetoka Kampala saa ngapi?
Toka Kampala saa 6.
Saa 6? Yeah. Hao wakoje wasichana?
Kwa sawa kabisa.
Aha.
Yeah.
Umekuja ukiangalia?
Kuja kuangalia tu unasikia kinyo naongea.
Umetuletea ngapi leo? 7,000. Haya tufungulie basi. Wow. Guys, this is my greeting. 51 pieces. All of them alive. Congratulations. Let me check the next box. $51 pieces. All of them alive. Boneface. Good job. Everyone, this guy, man. We went with this guy all the way to Sudan. And you can see, sasa umeiva saa hizi.
Sawa.
Eh?
Sawa kabisa.
Ambia watu hello. Sema hello.
Hello.
Good. Waoneshe kuku. Ikoje? Chukua moja. Mena mkono. Chukua moja. Chukua kuku moja. Good. Shika vizuri. Good. Waoneshe. Good girl. Sasa twende. Look at what we have today. This is a very small space, guys, and I'm at home. Despite the fact that the space is small, I'm at home. In this small space, there, I have my house, and here, I have this farm. You've seen how I've been building it, slowly, up to where it is now. There's a storage there, there's a servant quarters there. I'm just so eager to show you how inside the farm looks like. Come along and show you. You saw these birds when we were bringing them in, courtesy of Boneface from Uganda. Now you can have a look at them. They have really grown. One thing I'm so happy about these birds, we only lost 2 chicks, and we lost them. It was mechanical, like they put a jiko on them, so they were burnt. but it wasn't because of any infection. Wow. This is a chicken, and look behind me, we've got thousands of chicken. From a chicken, we get an egg, and then we get a chick. So for you, as a farmer, or someone who is passionate in venturing into this business, you could be abroad, you could be at home. You want to start chicken farming. It is not a walk in the park to raise this bird right from a chick to a point whereby it will give you now eggs. We have done it. We've raised hundreds of thousands of birds without any single mortality. We've raised them, and they have laid exactly on the first week of the 4th month. That is week 16, we have our first egg. People are like, is it doable? Is it achievable? How? Is it possible? Yes, it is. It is possible to raise chicken without any single mortality or any single loss, and it is possible to get your first egg exactly at the 16th week, and it's possible to sustain that egg curve from week 16 all the way to week 72. And it's possible to make this bird to lay for 100 weeks. You're wondering how? How do we do it? How do you achieve that? Yes. We cannot answer all these questions in a single day, in a single moment. That's the reason why you shouldn't miss out to purchase and be a student in our Layers Chicken Farming Masterclass, so that you can get these hacks. Let me not call them tricks. Let me call them hacks. What to be done, how, where, until you get these results. Remember, if you take good care of chicken, that's your journey to being a millionaire. Nothing is impossible. Anything is possible. Be eager to learn. Be passionate of what you want to do. Do the math again and again before you venture into anything. AIM is an abbreviation of my name. I caught you off guard. Antonio Innocent Mudongi. AIM Agriculture.